Hi everyone. In this video I'm going to tell you about the mysterious disappearance of a family at a place known as the happiest place on earth. That place is none other than Disney World. The story goes like this. I work at Disney World, the place famously known as the happiest place on earth. Normally I would never reveal anything about my job here, because the company has strict rules about what employees can and cannot post online. However, I feel like I can't tell this story without giving some context. And honestly, I think it's time for me to say goodbye to this job anyway. After 23 years, the first 20 spent working in the theme park, catching shoplifters, and maintaining order to keep the environment joyful, I realized that walking under the sun all day had become too much. I requested a transfer to an indoor position and was assigned to one of the company's resorts. The new environment was more comfortable, but the guests were more diverse and harder to please, mostly families. Perhaps the stress of the expensive trip made them more easily agitated. I often had to step in to diffuse arguments between couples, suggesting they take a break from each other to cool off, which usually worked well. But a recent case was unlike anything I had ever experienced. 3 days ago, my manager called me to check a room that was supposed to have been vacated that day. A housekeeper had entered and found that all the family's belongings were still there. She left a reminder note and moved on. 2 days later, nothing had changed. When I went to inspect, the room was still full. Suitcases, clothes, food, toys. It was clear a family of 4 had been living there. The manager confirmed it was a family with 2 parents and 2 kids. I called the phone number they provided, but got only voicemail. Since the situation couldn't be resolved immediately, I had the staff pack up their belongings and began investigating. The family had stayed for 5 days. They had paid for parking, and their car was still in the lot, so they hadn't left on their own. They had also prepaid for meal plans. 3 passes had been used, with the last scan being 2 days after check-in. The schedule showed they had breakfast in Magic Kingdom and went on a few rides, including the It's a Small World boat ride around 11 a.m. After that, there was no record of them. It's a Small World is a 10-minute boat ride through 7 continents, featuring animated models representing different countries. I asked a friend working in Magic Kingdom to review the security footage. The video clearly showed the family scanning into the ride, but in the final frame, when the boat returned and guests disembarked, they were nowhere to be seen. We immediately shut down the ride, turned off the music, turned on the lights, and searched. 10 people swept the tracks 3 times, and all we found were 3 phones and a hat. I dug deeper and discovered the family had purchased a memory package. All their park photos would be uploaded to their Disney account. I accessed the album and found 732 photos. The first 30 or so were normal, but the rest were all from inside It's a Small World. Only 1 photo is taken per ride, which meant they had ridden it over 700 times. The first few photos looked fine, but then the boat was empty, except for the family. The father started looking angry. The mother clutched the kids in fear, and the children were crying. Around photo number 50, they were clearly trying to escape the boat. In some shots, the father was outside the boat. In others, they were all gone, then back again. By photo number 450, only the mother and 2 kids remained. The father's body lay slumped beside them. In photo number 675, just the mother and one child were left. Another body gone. They sat motionless, skin pale as paper. I swear the dolls had moved. Some pictures showed the figures climbing onto the boat. I couldn't take it anymore and closed the album. But the photo count kept increasing, meaning new images were still being added. When I looked up at the security camera feed, the police had arrived. I knew they would take over, but I also knew Disney would do everything to keep the media silent. I couldn't keep living with this lie, so I decided to quit. I just wanted to bring this story to light before it was buried, and I'm not the only one. Others have experienced strange things on It's a Small World. A former cast member saw a Swiss girl doll repeatedly appear in different places, even though she wasn't animated. She just stood there, not dancing, not singing, and no one could explain why. Another person recalled being on the ride with their school group at night when a friend pointed in panic at the water beneath the surface. They saw countless faces staring back, twisted in agony, mouths open in silent screams. When they told a staff member, the person turned pale, but insisted it was just reflections. But we all knew it wasn't. I don't know if anyone will believe me. But I do know one thing for certain. They didn't disappear. They're trapped. And I will never go back there again.